today's episode of Victoria Gets Out of Her Slump, we're going to talk about meal planning fatigue. I don't know about you, but I am so guilty of getting stuck in a food rut where you just eat the same meals over and over and over again until like the thought of them just makes you want to vomit, and then you find a new set of meals and then you eat those over and over and over again until you want to vomit. So I realized things needed to change because I was just so bored with what we were eating, but I never felt inspired to like choose something new, and I was never excited to like make dinner or cook anything, and it was just whatever's quickest and easiest, and that's always like the processed unhealthy stuff. In my current little life refresh moment that I find myself in, which has been so dang good, I can't recommend it enough. It was literally like making the decision to add back in a morning routine has just changed everything. I added in a morning routine, and then I added in a nighttime routine. I changed my like cleaning habits. I've changed my, not like eating habits, but like meal planning habits. What else? Like, I've changed so much, and it just has made life so much easier and so much more enjoyable. Look at the places in life that you feel like you're struggling or stuck. It's always just the simplest changes that make all the difference. I came to the realization that all of us were bored with the pastas, the burrito bowls, whatever those meals were that we were making, and we weren't getting enough like fresh fruits and vegetables. It was all just like, oh, okay, it's 6. We need to like get something in our bellies quick before we put Theo down to bed. What's the easiest? And either that was us like ordering food, veggie burgers, or just not the greatest stuff. So instead of just hitting like reorder on my groceries because we were all sick of it, I was like, no, let's switch it up, Victoria. So I actually just recently made a video about meal planning to not like waste food that you already have, or to like use up the produce and the ingredients you have. I found that I was just making the same meals. So I would get stuff to make the same meals again, but then I wouldn't make them. And it was just like a cycle of like, I knew that wasn't where it was at, so I was like, okay, we need a new process. So you know when your friend snaps you a picture of like what they're eating that night, and you're like, oh my god, that looks so good, like I should make that sometime, and then you forget about it? Don't forget about it. Start a freaking like note on your phone, or like document on your phone, and every time they, like snap you a meal that looks really good, write it down. Better yet, ask them, yo, can you send me the recipe for that? That looks bomb. They always will. And then you save that recipe. And then when it comes time to figure out what you're gonna eat for the next week, you go to your little meal list. Other ways to add meal ideas to your meal ideas list. This is how I discovered recently pot pie without chicken in it, because my friend sent us a snap of like, this is what I'm making us this Sunday. And I was like, oh my god, I haven't had pot pie in forever. That looks so good. Like, when can I come over and eat it? But also just send me the recipe. And I actually made it, and it was so easy and it was so good. And I'm going to make it again, but not like right away, because I didn't want to burn myself out from it. So finding new meals and recipes to try, but not eating them like every single day for the next 3 months until you don't want them anymore. Or maybe your friends don't send you snaps of what they eat. They're lame friends if they don't. But you can still reach out and say like, hey, do you have any favorite go-to meals or any like really good recipes that you've made recently that you can share with me? They always will, and everyone eats different stuff, so that will definitely give you meal ideas. And we'll do that all the time. We're like, hey, we're really just like bored with food right now. What are some of like the things you've been making? Or we're looking for easy meals. What are some of your recommendations? And friends are your friends for a reason. They're gonna share that information with you. If you live with someone, but you're the one that normally meal plans and grocery shops and all of that, ask them for a meal idea. I'm sure there's things that they want to eat. And this is how we came up with vegan taquitos. Michael was like, you know what? I want taquitos. And I was like, I don't even know what taquitos are. Like, I've heard of them. I haven't had them since like middle school. But sure, let's find a recipe. And I made him find a recipe, and I got the stuff and made them, and they were delicious. So ask the people you live with to help out. I always peruse Pinterest, but I find that I always end up finding the same meals that I'm already sick of on Pinterest, because I'll type in like easy vegan recipes or like quick lunch ideas, and it's just always the same stuff. So I kind of put that on the back burner, unless there's like a particular recipe like pot pie you're looking for, or taquitos that you're looking for, then you can go search that out. But trying to completely switch it up, I didn't have the best luck with Pinterest. I went on YouTube last week and typed in, vegan fall recipe ideas or vegan fall meal planning. And I specifically said fall ideas because it's getting cool outside. That will switch it up. I know it will give me something new. And I found so many great recipes from just watching 2 or 3 videos. And I added those recipes to my meal idea list. And one of the videos I watched, she made pumpkin muffins. I actually just made those this morning. I don't know if I didn't cook them all the way, but they're very moist, but that's okay. They're good. I added chocolate chips to mine. Mwah. Future editing Victoria here. I didn't cook the muffins thoroughly. And I think the oat milk I use then fermented and went bad and started molding. And I gave food poisoning to Theo and myself 4 days after making them, and we both puked. So make sure you cook and bake all of your food thoroughly. She also made a kale salad, which I love kale salad. I normally I have my go-to kale salad, but I've been so bad at eating my greens lately. So this one, it was slightly different. She used roasted chickpeas and baked. It was tempeh, but I had tofu. And it didn't quite hit the spot, but it was fun to try something different. And I ate vegetables. Blogs are another great source of meal ideas. We all have favorite bloggers, food bloggers that we like, or we've had a recipe from them. So if there's one that you're yeah, I liked her cauliflower wing recipe, go back to that blog, and they have recipe after recipe after recipe, and you can go and find all sorts of good ideas. You can check out a few cookbooks from your local library. This isn't my favorite route because I find that they're overwhelming and I never end up really making, but that's an idea. You could get an ebook from one of your favorite online food people. Mine is Ellen Fisher. Every time she shares what she's eating on Instagram or YouTube, I'm oh my god, that looks so good. I now have 2 of her ebooks. I'll link her ebooks down below where you can go buy them, and they're $20-25 or something like that, nothing crazy, and you're supporting someone that you like. Okay, so now that you have all of your sources for where you can go and get meal inspiration, take some time to actually go through them. So if you have cookbooks that you enjoy, you have ebooks that you enjoy, take some time to go through them and find the recipes that spark joy and inspiration in you. I would like to make that, and start putting it on your meals idea document. Then when it comes time, think of what you're going to eat over the following week. When you need to go and get groceries, you can go to this meal ideas list that you have and choose a couple recipes to try out. And then you can, keep track of the ones that you really liked and the ones you're I probably want to make that again. And then you can just switch it up. I always try to make a new recipe every week, but then I get stuck in a rut. But I've been doing so good the past 2 weeks that I've been doing this. And then once you choose okay, this is what I want to make this week, take the 20 minutes, or I don't even know how long it will take you. I don't know how long it takes me to actually write out your meal plan for the week. I used to just say these are the 3 meals I would make this week, and these are the things I'm gonna have on hand. But to take the time and be no, Monday we're having taquitos, Wednesday we're having chicken pot pie. To take that decision process and just do it for yourself ahead of time is so helpful, because then I can just look at my calendar for the day and say, okay, breakfast, I said we're having pancakes. Lunch, I said we're having leftovers from pot pie. And dinner, we're making taquitos. It takes 1 more decision, actually 3 more decisions off your plate day to day, and you can do it all in just a matter of minutes by sitting down and doing it once a week. And then when you know what you're going to be making for dinner, you know how much time you need to give yourself to make that meal. If cashews that need to soak, or something you need to cook ahead of time, that way whatever it is you're making is actually done and ready to eat when you guys are hungry, instead of that rush, oh my god, what should we have? Oh, let's just make this because it's quick. And if you have stuff from the previous week that you still want to use up so it doesn't go to waste, you can do that. Instead of using your go-to meals that you're bored of, look at some of the new recipes that you want to try and see if any of those fit with those ingredients that you're trying to use up already. Oh, and always make plenty for leftovers. I don't know why people would ever make a meal and go to all the time and effort to just have 1 serving of it, or just enough serving for that 1 meal. We make enough for 2 or 3 meals because I love leftovers. especially when it's like just something delicious, like that pot pie and those taquitos we had for 3 or 4 meals after the fact. And if you're gonna go to all of like the effort of like finding a recipe, getting, as someone else's child, not mine. If you're gonna go to the effort to find a meal, get the stuff for it, and make it, make extra. What's a new recipe that you've tried recently that you were really blown away with? Or do you have any go-to recipes that you never get sick of? Let me know down below, because that would just be another great way for me to add to my meal idea list. I'll link the recipes I talked about in the description box, as well as that meal planning video I made recently. But that is what I have to say today about getting out of my like meal idea rut, because I was just so bored. And I've had so many yummy things lately. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye!